Let's begin a drive down memory lane that explores the joy and excitement of childlike creativity. It's the Lily Factor! Ding! In one of my old air quote sketchbooks, really a notebook that I did a lot of doodling in, there's a bunch of drawings I did from when I was about between the ages of 7 and 9, where I just sat down one day eagerly scribbling away all these different fashion designs. I did about 5, but I noticed that 3 out of the 5 all seemed to have a certain theme to them, all involving the word heart. And since it's February, why not do a Valentine's themed fashion redraw? During the time I made these drawings, I didn't want the fun to just stick with me, so I remember running around the house asking my parents and my sister which designs were their favorites and writing down what their favorites were, and I wrote in some quiz questions for my sister asking which accessory belongs to this fashion design. So not only was I just having fun by myself, but I was sharing it with others. So I think it only comes full circle that recreating these designs now, I can share the fun with you guys. So let's begin the Valentine's fashion redraw. I started with my least favorite fashion design first, dancing heart. In a way, it's like knocking out eating your vegetables so you can have your dessert. Although, I do really like vegetables. So, maybe that's not a good example. Or maybe it is because the table's turned for this drawing. Redrawing this, I tried to give some extra layers to the skirt, that kind of tulle ruffly look to match a dancer. I started with, just a quick croquis because I wasn't really that excited about this, so I thought instead of taking these drawings really seriously and making nice, impressive illustrations out of it, that I'd have fun sketching, and I'm glad I started with my least favorite design first because it definitely helped loosen me up in that sense. But the ironic thing is, I actually think it's my favorite one I did. I actually really liked how it turned out. The design kind of grew on me, so thanks, younger Lily. I decided to pay homage to the original drawings as much as I could by using art supplies I would have used doing those drawings. I'm not entirely sure if I colored the drawings in with colored pencils or crayons, but I decided to use crayons for the redraw in terms of coloring, and I used some Crayola markers for additional coloring since I'm pretty sure I used Crayola markers to do the thick outlines on the original drawings. So I definitely was trying to emulate the materials I used in my original drawings as best as I could. For additional aspects of the design, I decided to add some hearts onto the skirt. I also did my best to maintain keeping the jewelry and accessories I added to the sides of the outfit, so I did add that random blue beaded bracelet as well as the earrings and necklace, and then I began quickly coloring the skin. I ended up not rendering the skin as much as I usually do, but it was just something about how the colors landed on the paper. It just looked really good, so I only added some mild shading and just tried to maintain the really nice colors. Then I began coloring in the hair with this kind of dark rose color, which left a kind of reddish brown color, overall making the design look a lot more pink. And then I added some pink crayon around the edges of the highlights to make it look more pink. Can sense a theme here. And then I paid homage to the original drawing by adding some of those thick outlines around the character. And I knew I wanted to add some color around the character, and so I fought the urge to bring in yellow to the color scheme and just maintain those pink, purple, reds colors in the entire color scheme. So I went around the character with the pink heart and a bunch of other hearts. So there's Dancing Heart. Now, to maintain the fun and excitement of drawing, I'm going to switch up the location now, and I'm going to move somewhere else in my workspace to begin the second drawing. So after cleaning up some art supplies, we'll ride on over to the next location. Alright, art supplies are packed. Now let's drive. Believe it or not, that was the second time that day I dropped those crayons. Thank goodness, broken crayons still color. So I'm taking this remote control car with me. It's something that I liked to drive down the staircase a lot growing up, and it just always reminds me of what it was like to be a kid and have fun just creating for the fun of it. So I'm having it tag along with me in this journey, not just so I can make use of it since I finally got the batteries replaced, but also to tag along this journey as a good reminder of the play and joy that comes with creating. The car doesn't really like to drive on carpet, so I kind of helped it along, and this time I didn't drive it down the stairs. But if you want to see that, stay tuned at the end, where a friend drives it down the stairs. And I man the camera and hold the microphone. After letting Octavia drive around a while, she finally selected a location. A nice sunny spot by the window. We'll get her all settled, move some plants out of the way, get the art supplies on the table, and begin drawing. One plight about having drawn notebooks is that I feel like the paper aged a lot faster than some of my other sketchbooks. It's already brown and faded pretty much. Don't grow up. But to preserve that notebook, I decided to leave it out of that direct sunlight through the window. Instead, had my iPad hold up a reference of the next fashion design, which is none other than Valentine heart. For this one, I took a little more creative liberty with the design, but I did add in that hat sticker that I threw in on the side for whatever reason. So yes, I did end up adding in that hat. There were a bunch of hearts on the lower skirt part of the dress, so I added in the hearts, but I tried to give it a bit more of a pattern, adding some extra separation, shapes, and such, so it's not just hearts just sitting there, just on the skirt. Yeah. Instead of a sleeveless top, I decided to kind of make it an off-the-shoulder dress top with a gradient color going down. I think the main reason for that is when it's kind of cold outside, you just don't really have the urge to draw characters in summer clothing. It was at this point I found the crayon sweet spot, and I managed to make this really dull red turn really vivid on that dress. So that was nice. Coloring the pants, I added a light pink gradient down to the shoes, and for the foot on the right, but her left foot. No, wait, it is her right foot. But anyway, I messed up on that one. For the hair, I gave her some dark brown hair with these light pink highlights at the ends of her hair, just to kind of keep that fun, colorful Valentine's theme going. And then it was all finished with Valentine heart. So last, but certainly not least, came romance heart. I don't know about that one. This one, drawing it, I was like, okay, it's basically just a tuxedo. so I get to take some creative liberties. So I started out drawing the head, and I was going to give like some parted hair that's kind of a heart shape in the center, and I was like, subtle at all? No. But some like long wavy hair. So I started off, I wanted to give like a big collar and a tie. I wanted to give this guy a tuxedo that was a tuxedo but different. So I tried to like kind of pay homage to the drawing with the short sleeves and like kind of the short wide jacket, and I added some heart buttons just for the fun of it. But as I was drawing it, I had this moment of realization where this did not look like a men's tuxedo, but like a prep school uniform. And then I just kind of stopped caring at that point. I just let myself just have fun coloring and such, and tried my hardest just to not see a prep school uniform when I looked at it. Yeah. I tried to give like tails to the tuxedo too. Oh, and I added some hearts to the tie. But overall, this one, I just had fun coloring it. It didn't turn out any way I would have hoped, but I also had fun drawing it. I just had fun coloring and being messy, just enjoying that recreation of childhood artwork. So let's take a good up-close look at the finished product. So we have dancing heart, Valentine heart, and formal heart, because romance heart was just way too much cheese to put in the fridge. Overall, I just had fun playing with this, both with the artwork and the materials I used, and as well as the shots in which I made to create this video. I just had a lot of fun playing with it, and I think that's something I'm always trying to remind myself and factor in, that art and creating is a lot about play and experimentation. And now here's side by side the original drawings and their recreations. You can compare and contrast how the old art inspired the new art. With all this being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and may God bless you in your life and your art. And I'll see you shortly for the random funny clip at the end.
Alrighty everyone, I am Pinkie Pie, and I'm Fluttershy. We're doing today a how to not die while doing some fun stuff video. Alright, we're in my crazy coop. Ready, Fluttershy? Pinkie, okay! Whee! Pinkie Pie, I told you this wasn't a good idea. I did not throw.
Do CPR!